Welcome, I'm Giggles, and today I'm doing a Nightmare Cup recap. I'm a Boulder Cup champion, an Open Tournament champion, a Regional Cup champion, and I've placed well in all of my tournaments, so I thought today I would look at Nightmare Cup, and I went in with an all-shiny team. I don't recommend this, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it cost me almost all of my Stardust. Blaziken, Xatu, Grumpig, Hypno, Umbreon, and Murkrow. Hypno does not have Shadow Ball, but you can't tell that from Team Preview, so let's get into it. Sloth Sweetheart's my first opponent. This is my girlfriend. This is my training partner, or one of my training partners, and she has a very meta team, so let's see how we do. Okay, so first match, I have Murkrow, Umbreon, and Xatu. This is going to be the core of my team throughout this tournament. I lead Murkrow, she leads Toxicroak, and my pecs are going to do quite a bit of damage. I can take this Mud Bomb. There it goes. And I'm going to see if I can get a shield here. If not, I pick up the kill. So she shields, and then she actually switches out Toxicroak, and in comes Xatu. So I let Murkrow go, and I choose Umbreon. So I don't know what she has in the back, so I'm going to try to preserve some health on Umbreon. I'm going to take this first Aerial Ace. Alright, and then after this, I'm pretty much free to use my shields because I'm either going to pick up a kill here, or I'm going to get her shield. So I get that final shield, and I'm just going to feint down Xatu. Shield Umbreon. And Xatu goes, and her third Pokemon is Alolan Rat. Alright, I get the last resort. I'm going to try to do as much damage to this thing as I can because I know I only have Xatu in the back. So I'm going to save this shield for an upcoming crunch on Xatu. I thought I should have pulled that foul play, didn't get to it. So I'm going to see if Aerial Ace can pick up a kill here. I got to shield this crunch. Alright, send Aerial Ace. Here we go. Hopefully this kills. And it does. Toxicroak comes back, and he's pretty much dead already, and I have Xatu anyhow. Alright, so that was a good first match. And so match 2, I switch it up a bit. I run Blaziken, Umbreon, and Hypno. She leads Raichu. This is not good for me, so I get out immediately. So I've sort of trapped Umbreon here, so if she has Toxicroak, this is not good for me. There it is. So I'm basically just going to try to get shields here and take chip damage as I can, and I'm going to let Umbreon go without wasting any of my shields. Alright, take a Mud Bomb here. Alright, chip damage or shield. Chip damage, alright. So I think I have the shield advantage, and I have Hypno in the back. So Hypno is going to be able to feint this down with Confusions. But she managed to get off a Sludge Bomb. So this is going to hurt quite a bit. Here it comes. Ouch. Alright, so that wasn't good. But I saved my shield. And we're going into, I believe, Raichu. Yep, she has Raichu charged up with a Wild Charge. I'm going to have to shield that. And although I don't have Shadow Ball, this Future Sight, if I can get to it, Thunder Punch here, if I can get to this Future Sight, I know I can kill. And I do get it. Will I get a shield? No, I get the kill. Alright, so she's on her last Pokemon, and it's Xatu, and I'm going to bring in Blaziken. This is not good for me. It's basically GG here. There's nothing much I can do. She's going to get her charge moves faster than I can take her shield and get to another charge move. So, there it goes. Last shield, and Blaziken's going to go down. Alright, that's match 2. Alright, so we're going to match 3. I put in Grumpig and Xatu and leave Umbreon. She leads Alolan Muck. This is not great for me, so I'm going to switch into Umbreon after I charged a little bit of energy. And she switches here to Zatu. I think because her Alolan Muck only has dark moves. So she knew she wasn't going to be able to do anything to Umbreon, so she would try to get Aerial Aces on Umbreon, but she's going to end up wasting a bunch of shields or taking a huge hit. Alright, so we send Foul Play. There it goes, huge hit. She saved one shield. And Muck comes back. And I think this is what she was trying to avoid in the first place. It's just, we're both going to do basically 0 damage with our fast moves, and her charge moves aren't really going to hit Umbreon for any damage. And I managed to get off Last Resort here at the last second. Sending Last Resort, and big hit. Big hit. She saved her shield. I have both my shields though, so I guess it's going to come down to her last Pokemon, and I get a switch glitch here, which is irritating, but it's Hypno. So I send in Grumpig to get rid of the switch glitch, and I try to get to a Shadow Ball, and I do, and this is going to hit hard. It's not going to kill, but she shields it. Alright, so I'm going to have to start burning my shields here. I can't take a Shadow Ball from this guy. Alright, charging up. I rolled Charge Beam on my Grumpig, basically for any Zatu threat. Poliwrath and Shadow Ball was a nice addition to Grumpig. He actually pulled it off. Not as tanky as Hypno, but he did well for me. And one more Shadow Ball and she's done. So that was match 3, and I barely took it there. Alright, in round 2, I'm facing off against Nuclear Zzzz. I noticed from Team Preview that 4 of his Pokemon are weak to Murkrow, 4 of them are weak to Grumpig. So I've got Murkrow, Umbreon, and Grumpig. I lead Murkrow, and against Shiftry, I thought that Pex would be able to kill him before he got to a charge move, but I'm going to end up having to burn a shield. So I'm going to block Leaf Blade, and I have Drill Peck charged for his incoming Pokemon, which is Hitmonchan. So we're going to trade shields, and I'm going to lose Murkrow. Alright, and so I'm going to send in Grumpig. And Mirror Coat does a huge amount of damage, so I'm going to try and get that on his Hitmonchan. I'm going to tank this Thunder Punch and try not to burn any more shields. So I might get his last shield here, or I've killed his Hitmonchan. Alright, so I get his last shield, and I'm going to protect Grumpig because I don't know what his third Pokemon is. Alright, kill Hitmonchan, and his third Pokemon is Alolan Raticate. So Umbreon comes in, and I've noticed I've had to fight a lot of these matches because Blaziken isn't terribly reliable as a fighting type. I have no ground type moves on my team, so Umbreon's just going to have to come in and battle all the darks for me. So he admits he made a mistake and pulled a Crunch on me instead of a Hyper Fang. I don't know that would affect the outcome terribly, but I'm going to start sending last resorts his way. I think it's here. He sends Crunch. I don't know if he had Hyper Fang charged or not. He said he made a mistake. But he ends up taking Umbreon out before I get to his Raticate. So I'm going to have to Charge Beam his Raticate. And I'm sending Mirror Coat for his Hitmonchan. So this was an extremely close match, and maybe that mistake had cost him, but I end up barely getting the win here. Alright, fight number 2. Grumpig, Blaziken, Umbreon. I lead Grumpig, he leads Hitmonchan. This is pretty good for me. He switches immediately into Raticate. So I'm going to try to charge up a little bit here, and I try to switch, but he ends up getting off this Crunch before I can switch. So I'm going to have to send Umbreon after burning a shield. And I guess preserve shields on Umbreon since I wasted one messing up my switch. Alright, send last resort. There we go. He takes it. So we're even on shields now, and I think his Raticate's able to take down my Umbreon. There it is, Hyper Fang. I get off foul play. It's not going to do basically that much damage, but I get his shield. So I'm not sure that was the best shield there because it wasn't going to kill him. And I actually get to another foul play, but I think he's just charging a bunch of energy on me. So I send in Blaziken and one punch it before he can take his charge move. And in comes Shiftry. I think he said this was a bad switch or a misclick. He didn't ask to restart, but he's just going to let Shiftry go. And he's going to come in with Hitmonchan. I send Brave Bird. And he blocks it. So now I'm up one shield, and we're both down to our last Pokemon. I had Shadow Ball, or I had Mirror Coat ready, but he gets to Power Up Punch first. It's okay. I had a shield, and Power Up Punch wouldn't have done that much damage. So send Mirror Coat, and that's game. Okay, so it's match 3, and I'm facing off against Matt Fall, and he's the highest rank person in this tournament. So I really start running into some problems here. I hadn't faced a Claydol or a Drapion yet. I haven't faced his Poliwrath, and I lead Murkrow, Grumpig, and Umbreon. He leads Xatu. And I didn't quite know exactly how this matchup plays out. He gets to his charge move, and I didn't think that this Aerial Ace would kill, and it does. So first mistake right there. I send in Umbreon, and he switches into Poliwrath. So I have a switch ready. I get into Grumpig, and he's going to send a Power-Up Punch, so I don't block it, and then I make a big mistake coming up here. So he doesn't know what Grumpig's moves are, so he elected to shield this Mirror Coat just in case, and that was good on him. Here's where I make a mistake. I don't shield this boosted Ice Punch, and I didn't realize that would do so much damage to my Grumpig. Alright, so Grumpig goes down, and I'm left with Umbreon and 2 shields. Alright, shield that, and I go for the last resort. Send last resort, and he blocks it. Alright, so I'm going to have to shield this, and that thing's just getting boosted over and over again. So I have one Pokemon, he has all 3 of his. So I'm basically just going to get steamrolled here. I get another last resort, and I take down his Poliwrath, but it's too little too late. Alright, Xatu's going to come in and just finish me off. Alright, so game 2, I switch it up and add Xatu to my team. I'm still leading with Murkrow, and he leads with Poliwrath. Neither of us knew exactly how this worked out, but I knew he had Ice Punch, so I elect to burn shields early. Alright, so he gets to Power Up Punch. I shielded that. I didn't know if it was going to be Ice Punch or not, so I went ahead and shielded early. And he shields Drill Peck, so I switch out into Xatu here. I figured it was a more favorable matchup, even though I kind of gave away switch advantage. That's alright, I have to block this Ice Punch. And I take down that Poliwrath. And I have a bunch of energy stored up for whatever's coming in next. So, next up is Xatu. I'm going to send Ominous Wind. He's got to block this. He does. And I'm already ahead on energy again. So I get to 2 Ominous Winds, and I burned his shield before my Xatu goes down. Alright, so I end up taking down his Xatu and his Poliwrath with just my Xatu. Alright, so his last Pokemon is Raticate, and neither of us have shields. So I'm going to put Umbreon in after Murkrow. I thought Murkrow could get to Drill Peck, but I end up just basically wasting his energy. So that's going to free Umbreon up to get some last resort damage in. So I'm going to tank some Hyper Fangs and send last resort. Last Resort does quite a bit of damage, and I could finish him off with a foul play. He needs 2 whole Hyper Fangs. I could finish him off with foul play, I bet, but I wasn't quite sure, so I went ahead and charged up to Last Resort, knowing that he couldn't get to another Hyper Fang. He said he was extremely close to getting it, so I made that a little worse for myself than I had to. Alright, so we're going to Game 3, and in Game 3, I stuck with the same team that I just used, still leading with Murkrow, and I get his Zatu. So, based on how the earlier match went, I'm going to shield his Aerial Ace. But he's smart, and he sent an Ominous Wind, trying to get a boost. It didn't work out for him, but he got my shield anyways. I get off Drill Peck. He blocks, so now we're even on shields. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to Umbreon. Or to Zatu. I'm going to have to shield this. And his Zatu dies. Alright, so his next Pokemon is Raticate. So I'm going to send Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace does good damage. And he's actually up on shields on me, so I'm going to have to let Zatu go and play this out with Umbreon. I wait the switch timer and send in Umbreon. Alright, he gets to the Hyper Fang. But I know I can kill him, and I still have Murkrow with a bit of health left in the back for his third Pokemon after Umbreon takes out his Raticate. He did elect to save a shield there, so I should have been suspicious, but it's Poliwrath, and I don't have any good matchups here. He played that really well. My only answer to it really on this team was Zatu, or if I could get in a sneaky Drill Peck. So it's GG here. He played very well and capitalized on all of my mistakes. So he's basically just gonna punch me down with his power-up punches, and it's over. So I'm 2-1 now, and we're heading into the 4th round. Okay, heading into round 4, everything goes wrong for me here. I'm facing Hobbit Samwise. He's another 2-1 player in this tournament, and it's actually his first tournament with us. So I'm facing a Skuntank, which I hadn't seen before, and I make some critical switch errors. Also, I lost the recording of our first match. I ended up losing that in a very close fight with him. And so this is going to be match 2. Okay, round 4, match number 2. I make some big mistakes here, and it cost me a win. And here it is. I lead Grumpig, he leads Skuntank. I try to switch out immediately. It doesn't work. I try to switch out again. It doesn't work. I try to switch out again. It doesn't work. And I accidentally hit Shadow Ball. So he's just going to take Shadow Ball to the face for basically 0 damage. And my Grumpig is almost halfway dead. I send in Umbreon. And I'm going to have to take a Flamethrower. Alright, and then I get to Last Resort. And he shields it. Here goes the shield. So I have 2 shields to 1 now, and I know I can get to another Last Resort before he's going to pull Flamethrower on me. So I'm going to take down his Skuntank. So I have Umbreon with little health and Grumpig with little health and Zatu in the back. So he sends in Zatu. I'm going to play it out with Umbreon. I get off a foul play. And I get his final shield. So now I'm up 2 shields to none, and even after the first switch errors, I'm still in an okay position depending on what his third Pokemon is. So I send in Grumpig and shield this. I probably shouldn't have and saved the shields for later, but I'm down to 1 shield. And I shield this, and that's definitely a mistake. I should have let Grumpig go and let my Zatu handle this. He gets a boost off. I just try to kill his Zatu with Mirror Coat. And I should have saved my shields because his final Pokemon is Raichu. I believe with Zatu, if I got 2 Ominous Winds off and I had my shields for Zot too. I could have won this match, but I'm just going to take a wild charge, and that's GG. So he played that well. He capitalized on my mistakes. If you like this or want more, please like and subscribe.